Hi everyone, I'm Claire and welcome to this talk on canine hoopers. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, I'll be introducing you to one of the most accessible and enjoyable dog sports out there. While the focus is on Border Collies, the principles can be applied to any breed. Hoopers is a rapidly growing activity in the UK and beyond, known for its flowing courses and minimal physical strain on both dogs and handlers. If you're looking for a sport that provides mental stimulation, physical exercise and plenty of teamwork, Hoopers might be just what you're waiting for. So Hoopers has its roots in dog agility, but it offers a low impact alternative. And while agility involves jumps, contact equipment, and can often involve tight turns, Hoopers courses use ground level hoops and barrels, short tunnels, mats, gates, and originally it was developed in North America to accommodate dogs of different ages and physical capabilities, but it's gained so much popularity now that in fact it can be the primary sport of many dogs, and it's diverged quite considerably from agility. Today it's recognised as a fun, inclusive sport where handlers use verbal cues to guide the dogs through the course in a flowing path. And it's particularly suited to handlers who perhaps have less mobility because the skill of distance handling is highly rewarded in most organisations' point system. Let's have a look at the different sorts of equipment that we use in a Hoopers course. Okay, we'll start off with hoops. These are lightweight plastic frames that are on the ground for the dogs to run through. They are wide and they're low, so they reduce any risk of entanglement or impact. Literally as I speak, many Hoopers organisations are transitioning to baseless hoops, as it's been discovered that in fact these are even more risk-free, and it certainly allows dogs to use the stride length they prefer, so making the sport even faster. Barrels or gates. Barrels are literally big round barrels, as they described, and gates are basically a short wall, and they're used to create sweeping turns, changes of direction, encouraging the dog to move smoothly without sort of really tight pivoting. And then we have tunnels and chutes. A tunnel is, as it said, a cylindrical structure that the dog runs through. A chute is a U-shaped structure where the dog runs on the ground, still underneath a fabric. Tunnels in Hoopers are 1 metre long, and they're laid with a relatively straight entry and straight exit to enable the dogs to power through quickly. And then we have the touch and go mat, or sometimes called the tango mat. Basically a rubberized surface that the dog has to touch and run through in between two pairs of poles. Hoopers courses are designed so that dogs can keep moving quickly, maintain their momentum. There are no sharp turns, they flow around arcs, and the dogs pass through hoops in a more obvious sequence than perhaps you'd see at agility. Handlers often direct from a distance, particularly when you've got a fast dog. There's no chance of being able to keep up and achieve the fastest time. So we use our body language and vocal commands to direct our dogs, and it enables the dog to think independently while you're giving them that verbal cue. It's a great encouragement for you and your dog to develop that superb teamwork, which Border Collies are famous for. Here we've got Jip, a really experienced Border Collie, running with her handler Kath. And as you can see, Kath is staying still, handling Jip from a distance. And what a superb run that is for them both. So let's have a look at the benefits of Hoopers. So Hoopers has a reduced physical stress on a dog's body comparison to other sports. There's no jumping or climbing. So Hoopers is absolutely suitable for relatively young puppies to learn and for senior dogs to continue all the way through their lives. There is less risk of injury, so it really is an incredibly safe sport. It gives the dogs a great opportunity for mental engagement. Navigating the course of hoops, barrels, mats, gates challenges the dog's listening skills and focus. It can absolutely help to build confidence. Dogs working at a distance from us, responding to cues without us being beside them, boosts their independence and their trust of us. And of course, it's a great bonding opportunity. Shared activities such as Hoopers strengthen the relationship between you and your dog. And Hoopers absolutely requires really clear communication and reading each other's movements. Specific benefits, of course, for Border Collies are that it's a great energy outlet. Border Collies renowned for their limitless energy. Hoopers provides that structured way to channel their energy without any high impact movements. Collies are superb at responding to subtle cues, teaching them their directional cues, left and right, the cues we use on the barrel, keep them engaged, keep them focused. Border Collies thrive when they've got a job to do, and Hoopers gives them a great job to do. The herding behaviour of a curved outrun is perfect for Border Collie and for their physicality and for their brains. Collies can be prone to repetitive strains if they repeatedly jump or weave intensely, but a Hooper's course should never be designed so that it causes that repetitive injury. So it's ideal for a very active breed. So how do you get started? Well, I would absolutely recommend going to a class for Hoopers because the way we train Hoopers is really key to progressing and enjoying the sport. But to start, it would be a really good idea if you had maybe 3 or 5 hoops, and they are easily available, cheap to make or to purchase. You can get a barrel. I use green garden bins from a supermarket or from a DIY shop. You need some space, a level area, but that could be your garden, it could be a field, training venue, ideally a softer surface rather than a hard surface, and possibly some fencing if you're going to train in open space with distractions. Here you've got my nephew Ollie, and he's training his Labrador to do the tango mat. He's using a technique called shaping, where he waits until Poppy offers a behaviour, and then he uses the cue word and throws her out a reward. And isn't she doing great? Brilliant. Good lad. Leave it there. So how do we train Hoopers? Well, the way we introduce the different equipment is we use a technique called shaping. Shaping is giving the dog a chance to work things out for themselves and rewarding them when they get it right. So we start off with just one hoop, and we reward the dog for showing some sort of interest in the hoop. Ideally, if we throw a reward, such as a small cube of cheese, onto the opposite side of the hoop, the dog will automatically go through. And we mark the moment that the dog goes through the hoop with a marker word, such as yes. Very quickly, your dog will realise that when you go through the hoop, you get a reward. So rather than luring the dog through, we actually give the dog time to work out, to process what's happened, and then they will think, hang on a sec, I got that reward when I went through. They'll choose to go through the hoop, and the moment they do that, the moment they turn to start going through the hoop, we mark that with a yes, and very quickly you can progress to 2 hoops and then 3 hoops in a straight line. We introduce directional cues using a pinwheel. So we might teach our dogs to turn left and right by having 3 hoops in a T shape. And very quickly we can teach our dogs to turn left and right using that sort of setup. We also need to teach them to go out around the outside of barrels, and most people don't use a directional cue for this. They simply ask the dog to go out round the barrel, again shaped initially, then putting the cue in later, because barrels are always placed on a course so that it's obvious to the dog the obvious line of the barrel, and at least at the early stages we wouldn't be asking a dog to do what's to turn and turn away from us on a barrel. Most people use the cue barrel. So here we've got Flux, my collie whippet, and she is doing a pinwheel. She's being shaped, so there's no cues being given at this point, and she's doing great. Now I've moved to the outside of the pinwheel, and so I'm actually going to give her cues to turn left and right. This is what's called a rear cross, because she's turning and turning her with her back to me. And she's doing absolutely lovely rear crosses there. And of course we always repeat each training from both sides. Well done, Flux. That's some lovely pinwheel work. When you and your dog are comfortable with hoops and barrels, then you can start building yourself little courses, maybe a figure of 8, start to increase the distance that your dog can work away from you. And at this stage, I really would suggest that you find a club or a trainer, because their support is invaluable at this stage. And just a short, just even occasional training will make all the difference in the progress that you make. So this is a couple of quick videos from one of my own classes on week 1 and then week 3. You can see in week 1 we're just introducing hoops very, very simply, and these dogs are being shaped through the hoops, and aren't they doing brilliantly? We've got a real mixture of dogs, all shapes and sizes, that are doing this, enjoying this, and learning to use barrels. Everything is done with lots and lots of treats. Then we've got week 3, so literally 2 classes later, and we're starting to work on forward drive. Forward drive being a really important part of a skill that dog requires for hoopers, because in fact there we've got a front cross, which I haven't explained. Lots and lots of forward drive through multiple hoops. These hoops are much closer together than you find in competition, but that's really important so that the dogs can learn to pick up the hoops without in any way feeling conflicted about where they should go next. And we gradually increase the spacing between the hoops, which enables them to become more independent. But yes, we've progressed there to 3 hoop shaping, 4 hoops or 5 hoops on drive there. Well done, Liliano. What a cracking run. Just watch me. Can't stop me. You can't stop me. Stop me. Just looks so easy. I could do this all day. You'll have to excuse the firm surface in this situation, but this was taken when my fields were totally underwater. So we've got Helix doing a much larger pinwheel now, a 5 hoop circle, and now I'm helping to encourage him to do what's called a rear cross. So I'm working the circle from outside, asking him first to work with me when I'm on the inside of the circle, and then stepping out to build his drive so that he can work with me on the outside of the circle, which will build his independence.
So left. Go. Nice.
And here we have Helix, literally the next session. So a much larger open oval shape, and we've got some straight drives in between some barrels. You can see there the garden barrels doing a great job, and then there's a standard blue feed barrel on the far end, and he's driving quite nicely now. For him, it's now time to open up the gaps between the hoops to competition distances.
Go. Go out. Come on. Go. Go. Out. 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 Go, go. Go, go. Go, go. Go out. Yes. Go, go. Yay. Okay. Go. Go out. Whoops. Hey. Go. Go out. Go, go. Go out. Go out. Yes. Go, go. Clever boy.
So here we've got the lovely Merlin, lovely Border Collie, very experienced dog, also just partially sighted. So Ginny is working Merlin at a really high standard and with superb distance handling skills there. That beautiful tight turn in the barrel there, really, really great control. The fact that that Merlin knocked over that hoop doesn't matter at all. Happened because he knocked it with his tail, and that wouldn't be penalised in competition. This is just in training.
So hooping can be enjoyed in several levels. It can be enjoyed as a competitive sport, and there are more and more clubs now offering trials across the UK. Typically, there'll be 4 courses available at each level. Your dogs progress through the levels by winning points. A hoopers course, which has just got hoops in it. A barrelers course, which will have hoops and barrels. A tunnelers course, which will have hoops and tunnels. And a tango course, which will have hoops and a touch and go mat. Those typically 4 courses will take part throughout the day, and it's the fastest dog with a clear round that wins each particular level. It's a little bit, there are some nuances on scoring, and different organisations have different rules, so I'm not going to go into those in detail. If you enjoy hoopers, you get involved, you can find out the sort of clubs that are nearby to you, the sort of events, and again, I would strongly recommend speaking to an instructor at that point so that you can understand how the competitions are run. But you don't need to compete. You can do totally social, recreational hoopers. You could go to classes or not go to classes. You can simply play it in your own garden. It's entirely up to you. I find that hoopers is a great sport, and I get to meet like-minded people, and my dogs meet like-minded, friendly dogs as well. So it's a positively trained sport. And so everybody tends to have a very similar view to how to train their dogs. It's always reward-based training. And so it's a great opportunity for you and your dog to socialise. And there are often workshops run by trainers where you maybe have 2.5, 3 hours of focused training on one particular subject within the sport. And that's great fun to do. And we love going to workshops.
If you can find a club that trains indoors in the winter, I'd really recommend it. What a great venue this is, and here we are having great fun. And this is my outdoor venue, and it's a real luxury to have such great quality grass. And here I am training with Flux and having lots of fun again.
Yes, good girl.
Here
we've got some lovely shots of Kobe, the Border Collie. Kobe's a great competing dog, but what I also wanted to reassure, if any of you've got a reactive dog, reactive dogs are very welcome in hoopers, competitions and in classes. Great deal of support is available for dogs, be they social or perhaps have large emotions. In conclusion, Canine Hoopers offers a brilliant, low-impact outlet for your Border Collie's energy and intelligence. With flowing courses and emphasis on teamwork, this sport is both mentally and physically rewarding for dogs of all ages and fitness levels. Whether you aim to compete or simply want a fun activity to strengthen your bond, Hoopers can be tailored to your goals. If you'd like more information, feel free to get in touch with me directly. I'm here to help you choose equipment, find local clubs or trainers, and design an approach that suits your Border Collie's unique personality. If you want to start classes, Chrysalis Canine Hoopers runs classes in Coventry and near Wolverhampton in the West Midlands. Thank you for watching, and I wish you and your brilliant collie the best of luck as you explore the wonderful world of Hoopers.